The Ansett Cup brings new challenges. For many, it is the start of a wonderful journey in this great game we call Australian football.
Yes, hello, and a very warm welcome to Colonial Stadium for what amounts to a quarter-final of Group 2, the winner to play Port Adelaide. And both Collingwood and the Kangaroos have reached this mark by victories over both West Coast Eagles and St Kilda. It should be a great match. And wouldn't the Magpie Army start marching if they could win their way into a semi-final? Joining me in commentary, Ian Robertson and Craig Hutchison. Should be a great match, Robbo.
I think so, Jared. Looking forward to this, and a pretty good crowd in here at Colonial Stadium, Hutchie.
Absolutely, Robbo.
So away we go. The first bounce, McKernan's up high. Josh Fraser knocks it forward. It was McKee, actually. Now Pickett off the left foot in towards half forward. Archer. Pretty good tackle by Wakeland, not giving away the free kick, locking the ball up and forcing the umpire to throw it in the air. It's just inside the Magpies, just inside the Kangaroos forward line.
Stevens
just
picking up
of the wing.
Nathan Buckley, and he is right up his jumper.
Not a bad kick by Archer, improvising. Burns has taken the mark. Handball away. Johnson, who played such a terrific match against the Eagles last week. Kicking towards the middle of the ground. Now the chances with the Kangaroos to go forward. Lovely long kick by Clayton. And the mark has been paid. It's Kings. He's about 35 metres out on a slight angle.
And David King, who has made the move early in the season up forward, was a star last week for them. He kicked some great goals. And there we see it on replay. Just took that front position. Probably shouldn't have got the second grab, but Kangaroo supporters, if you're looking for the other King, that is Wayne Carey, you'll find him on the bench. He has just started the season pretty slowly, and Dennis Pagan, no doubt, will bring him on when he sees the appropriate opportunity.
My apologies there to Brady Rawlings, who kicked that ball in for David King to take this mark. But David King, very much a goal kicker, should just about put this through. A quality player. Distance, not a problem. Lovely kick. Beautiful, relaxed style. Goal of Kangaroos.
And a real buzz around tonight, Jared, isn't there? I mean, the big crowd in. The Kangaroos launched their Operation Beware outside Gate 6.
Oh, it's fantastic. You'd expect 25 to 30,000 people turning up for this, Hutchie. It's a big game for the Collingwood Footy Club. If they can get over this and get themselves into their first final for a long time, albeit a night final, it just, I think, cements in the minds of their members that things are happening under the Maguire and Malthouse regime.
Steinfort might have Stevens. There was a little dust-up.
As we saw just Wayne Carey on the bench there a moment ago. And in the middle of the ground, the Kangaroos get the chance to work it forward. They do so again through Rawlings, who's playing on the footy. Kicks high inside 50. Good. Archer hit the pack hard, couldn't take the mark. Burrowed in again, looks rejuvenated this season already. And an old-fashioned Stacks on the mill will have a ball up. Joining Carey on the bench, incidentally, McLaren, Petrie, Lang, Harding and Cochrane.
Found a free kick there, Hutchie. Hand pass from Jukovic to Wakeland. Wakeland out towards centre wing. Well done by Fraser, but he committed the cardinal sin of footy by falling over. He's able to lock it up on centre wing, but eventually, gee, you run the risk, Jared, of being penalised, don't you, if you can't get that ball out from underneath.
Particularly early in a match, Robbo, when the umpire's a bit nervous and they're going to pay the hot ones.
Clayton, he lands the ball at half forward. Kick forward there for the Kangaroos by Harris, bouncing awkwardly all the way to the line and eventually over for a behind.
Can we just go back a couple of minutes, Robbo, and award the first VC for the season that I have seen, and that was to Glenn Freeborn, who stood with his eyes on the ball when the man Archer came from behind.
And that's a frightful sight, I'm sure, to become you.
As we just saw.
He's in there again, Jared.
And here's Lockyer on centre wing, kicks for touch. Right in front of the interchange area, we'll have a throw-in for the Magpies on the interchange, by the way. Didak, Kinnear, Dimatina, Lane, Loney and Rinchel. Here we go, Jared.
Yeah, there it was. Second time we've seen it already this evening, and a big punch away from Scotty Burns. And just having a look at Anthony Stevens, he is wearing Nathan Buckley like a second skin.
And the two Macs, McKernan and McKee, do the ruck work tonight in the early stages. And the ball up on centre wing.
It may well be a skin graft. He's that close.
Here's Simpson back in the side tonight. Couldn't take a clean possession. Working very hard is Brodie Holland, ex-Docker. And we'll have another ball up. Stevens there with Buckley. And really trying to recapture some of that magical form after a difficult season for him last year, Stevens. Beautiful work by Harris, the former Vic Country under-18 captain. Took it beautifully, kicked inside 50. A chance here for the Kangaroos. Harvey did well, rove the pack. Good chance to lay a handball off. Decides to ride the bump. The handball into space was pretty good. Good chance here for the Kangaroos again through King. Squares it up nicely. And the evergreen John Blake, he's got it 45 out. He's a good kick. And he should have every chance here of posting the Roos second.
Well, David King, I mean, his vision and his preparedness to, well, first of all, look. And he found Blakey, and Blakey from inside 50.
The 35-year-old loads it up. It's got the distance. The Kangaroo supporters love it behind the goals. They've flocked in here tonight, and their team's got off to a flyer.
Well, I think you wonder when the end of John Blakey's career will ever come.
Oh,
he just is a fantastic player, and even now still looks as fit as he did, perhaps even when he started. Well in excess of 30 years of age, and now over 300 games to his credit, and he has just kicked the Kangaroos' second goal.
So the Roos by 13 points. One-way traffic at the moment. McKernan does the ruck work, wins the hit out. Anthony Rocker in there working hard. Here's McKee, ripped off it. Like the look of Harris, he's been busy early, kicks inside 50. Wakeland, beautifully done. Ran the gauntlet, squared it up and found O'Brien. Really inspired his teammates there with some dash. Here's Johnson.
Good kick.
In the Gavin Brown number tonight. Gavin Brown's out there on the ground as a runner tonight also, so you're not seeing double and half forward. A good mark here to Steinford, the ex-Cat.
Well done.
Off-season shoulder surgery. Good kick.
Oh, dropped the head.
Tarrant at the yips there. Really should have taken that. You'd expect him to anyway. Here's Colbert. Got a nice handball. That's a Clayton under pressure. Steadies up now nicely for the Roos and kicks towards Simpson, who throws on the right boot, his non-preferred side. Only as far as McKee, who's playing the ruck and takes it for the Pies.
Got a chance to transfer play, but decides on the percentages and will go down the to the right half forward area. It's a 2-on-1 and a good mark in the finish taken by McCartney.
And Nathan Buckley has pushed to full forward, and he's taken Anthony Stevens with him. It's a good ploy to find a position for Nathan Buckley to exploit any weakness of Anthony Stevens. Get it up there, one out in the air. Buckley should take it.
Well, the Kangaroos hunting in numbers. King going. Oh, the big banger!
Look at that one.
The banger! It's a second goal for King from 65.
Doesn't that ignite the crowd? Don't see much of it anymore, Jared, but when it happens, and coaches don't like it, but isn't it great fun?
Well, let's hope that the torpedo comes back into some fashion because of the blocked up and crowded defensive areas. The easiest way to beat a zone defence, Robbo, is to just unload a banger, as you just christened them. And if every banger was as good as that one, Robbo, footy would have another element of excitement to add to it. Look at that one, Travel. It just was never going offline. A great kick and a great start to David King.
And they practice those down at Arden Street after training. Back in the centre, McKernan and McKee. And an infringement there. And the free kick goes the Magpies' way. They go inside 50. McCartney with the fly. Couldn't take it. Colbert did well. And the handball came away here towards Sinclair. Had his head ripped off. And finally, a free kick will be paid to the former Docker, Jess Sinclair.
Got to just... Anthony Rocker here just had to aim a little lower. The Kangaroo player ducked his head, but Anthony Rocker much too high with his tackle.
Simpson in short to Makepeace.
And just on that one, I think Troy Makepeace was being a bit unselfish there. He should have gone with that ball prior to the last one instead of letting Jess Sinclair come in. He was running back into the flow of traffic. Makepeace running away from him.
Kangaroos work it forward. Makepeace overlaps again, takes the mark. Wearing the number made famous by John Longmire. Makepeace on the left foot, kicks inside. Big fly there from McKee, couldn't take the mark. He had to go. They get numbers back now, Collingwood, but it might not matter. McKernan's kick with the wrong side of his boot, no question about that, up and down. And Harvey, with some courage, almost took the mark but couldn't. The Magpies can clear through Reece Shaw. We have a whistle on play.
Umpires found a free kick. It's going to go to the Kangaroos player for what he would deem as a crude attempt to spoil.
Well, Robbo, we are testing some new technology. I'm mic'd up, and I can hear...
And King's just had a blue with the Collingwood runner there.
And we did capture it pretty successfully there, and that will come back to haunt David King, I would suspect, but who knows what the...
Emergency umpire's out there now, Jared. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, he is, and he's out there talking to the runner, and now the emergency umpire is going over to David King.
Meantime, Harvey's kick and goal is offline and a minor score. It's the Kangaroos 20 points, Collingwood yet to score, and some drama early on here tonight at Colonial Stadium.
What does that come under if David King is in trouble? Bringing the game into disrepute by attacking the... He's obviously thought the runner was in his road at some stage.
It's Peter Harrington.
So. It has happened before, of course. Graham Bond and Steve McPherson were in some trouble. I think Steve McPherson got reported for belting Graham Bond when he was a runner for the Sydney Swans about 8 or 9 years ago.
Fair enough. They do become agitated, I'm sure, the players, because the coaches maybe use the runner in a certain way to just block runs of players. And certainly in that circumstance, David King was frustrated. That's a great effort by Archer. Across the half-back line for the Kangaroos.
He looks a refreshed Glenn Archer. He looks fit, keen, he's athletic, and we know he had his moments last year. Who knows, he may just have just really applied himself over this pre-season, and he may be setting himself for a large one.
They've all had a couple of extra weeks off, haven't they? Because our season finished quite early last year, of course. And if you weren't cherry ripe and enthusiastic now, well, I don't think you ever would be. Kangaroos trying to get the ball into their full forward line. Out in front. The mark has been taken by Rocker. We've got a couple of unusual circumstances. Sav Rocker playing his first game against his old team. Gavin Kosiska, who retired from Collingwood last year, working on the coaching staff with the Kangaroos. Yep. It is interesting how the players do move around, but this will be a tremendous fillip for Sav Rocker if he can dob this early in the match. 3-2, and Collingwood duck egg, duck egg, duck egg. Yet to trouble the scorers.
It looks like Adam Simpson has gone on to Buckley, so they may be doing a three-way rotation on the player within the 1 quarter.
Well, we're watching Sav Rocker, and he's pretty disappointed with that result. Again, only about 30 metres. The angle was a little difficult, but the big fella missing. So 3-3 to Collingwood yet to score, and the Magpies making a change. Burns for the blood rule coming off. Magpies interchange not quite ready. Andrew DiMartino was getting ready, but it's decided that it will be Ryan Loney who will come onto the ground for the Magpies.
Falling down a little bit early across half forward, the Magpies, Jared.
Yes, it does appear that they've got a lot of tools up there at the moment, but they have been well covered. McCartney's on Anthony Rocker, and Shane Clayton is on Josh Fraser.
Lockyer brings the ball back in for the Magpies, as he did with so much precision last season. Short to Jukovic, measures it up again to Johnson. Jukovic again on the overlap, and they work the ball out of defence nicely towards centre wing. Buckley's the target. Not quite sure it can get to him. In the end, Buckley opts out of the contest, allows Holland in. Handball towards O'Brien, but the Kangaroos again in the clinch is very good. Blakey, some tough work there off the football. Again, it's Lockyer to Reece Shaw, who's hot, ripped off the football. The old-fashioned pickpocket from Stevens, who got the handball away. Here's O'Brien, who played every game last season and has had the dreadlocks over the summer, as many players have. He's hot here, he'll need to get rid of it. Ripped off the football. The Kangaroos are desperate tonight. It's an important night for their footy club. Again on centre wing, Freeborn. Left foot kick towards half forward. McCartney filled the space. A chance for Anthony Rocker to get the handball away. Two Rockers tonight playing at opposite ends of the ground. Here's Colbert. Runs through the lines beautifully with a handball. And the Kangaroos are going to come away with this through Makepeace, who steadies up short. And Brady Rawlings has been very busy. He's got the mark.
Pickett in support, running through the middle of the ground. Goes long. King's on the end of it.
Good decision to stop.
He's killing them, isn't he?
Oh, the kick was a magnificent kick. I mean, he picked the ball up right near the centre circle, And David King will kick from about 20, maybe 23 metres directly in front.
Yeah.
That ball has travelled in excess of 60.
And look at the space, I should say. Pickett has just unloaded and dropped it into an area where David King was given free rein to run, and he's picked it up as a great kick, and in the end, a pretty good mark.
Going for his third goal. Kangaroos' fourth goal. Maybe.
You've got to say that Sav has played his part there by just vacating the space, playing to the team plan, and it's working well for the Roos at the moment.
So we're watching David King directly in front. Should kick the goal and does. 3 goals to King. 1 to Blakey. And Collingwood still to trouble the scorer.
And it is getting to that crucial stage now. You would think that Mick Malthouse would be considering throwing maybe Josh Fraser into the ruck, just changing the balance somewhat. Their playmakers haven't been able to get anywhere near it. Nathan Buckley's struggling, and the Kangaroos are just dominant all over the field.
There's Dennis Pagan, the coach. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is for Dennis. Still fanatical about his football and about the Kangaroos winning. That's why they're such a success. Harvey works the ball through the middle. They need to get some momentum up here. Reece Shaw bangs it on the boot. All Kangaroos at half forward. And it'll come to Clayton, whose handball was errant. Almost a turnover here if the Magpies can work it forward. Colbert, geez, been good in this Ansett Cup. Works the ball clear. And we'll get a free kick for too high. Will Lee Colbert, former Geelong skipper. So Colbert, who had an injury interrupted year last year with hamstring and knee problems. Martin, handball away to Blakey on the left foot towards centre wing. Harris at the back did pretty well to force the ball down. Looks a ready-made player, doesn't he? Here's Harvey, kick towards half forward. Stevens couldn't quite take it. Apologies, it was Shannon Grant. Archer there also, as is Brent Harvey, who plays for the free kick. And the umpire had none of that. And the Magpies will clear it away here through Prestigia Como, who runs a gauntlet, run down by his former teammate Sav Rocker. And the kick's to no one. Blakey there on his own. Fit of the fumbles, got the handball away. The Magpies can clear now through Buckley, who hasn't been as busy early as he was in the past couple of weeks. Ranging kick towards half forward to Tyson Lane, couldn't take it. The Kangaroos are away again. Their half back line looks rock solid with Colbert and Archer back on full song. And they can clear here through Sinclair.
Well, I think Chris Tarrant has just got to put himself down a little bit further into the play. A couple of chances that have gone forward. He hasn't been anywhere near the football. Umpire's found a free kick here. It'll go to Collingwood. It'll be taken by Holland by the look of it. Loney comes off and Burns is back on. Well strapped up, Scott Burns. The football back with Brodie Holland. Nothing really on offer. So he's going to have to kick to a disputed situation at half forward. Colbert doing well. Got the hand pass away in the direction of Sinclair, but nothing much he can do before it trundles over for a boundary throw in. 4-3 to 0 at the moment. The and Magpies.
Two teaming Buckley. You've got Stevens behind him and Adam Simpson in front at every bounce around the ground.
Quite frustrating for the Collingwood skipper Nathan Buckley. Mickey Malthouse barking the instructions down the line, just can't get any flow. Kicking a little blindly when they do get their chances. Jukovic can't quite break away. Simpson, an important little tug on the jumper. Ball into the pocket for the Magpies. Chance now for Tarrant. Kicks it to the front of the goals. Here's an opportunity. Malloy can't get his boot to it. Well done, Mickey Martin. Colbert. Hand passes into the pocket. Chance for Holland. Can't quite get past. Tarrant, desperate for the football, was made peace. Malloy appealing to the umpire for a decision in favour of the Magpies, not forthcoming. So the umpire will throw it in.
We're seeing just what made Lee Colbert such an expensive recruit tonight for the first time, really, for the Kangaroos, aren't we? And throughout the Ansett Cup.
And it's fair to say that he was... some supporters weren't giving him the opportunity to settle down after a knee reconstruction, but he knows now he has to deliver.
Well, Scotland was magnificent. And have a look at Scott Burns' headgear, if you like. The bandage over the head. But he's taken the mark. Some good football there from Brodie Holland.
Just a little bit of system there, wasn't it? I mean, at least you have to acknowledge that Heath Scotland looked and delivered with precision. The other times they've gone forward, it's been a little haphazard.
And the Magpies are on the scoreboard at Colonial Stadium. The Kangaroos 4-3-27, and the Pies get their first one straight 6.
Well, Scotty Burns has come from defence there, Robbo, to pick up that opportunity at goal.
He is a player that they look to too, isn't he? I mean, he's an experienced player now, and he's got to be one of the forerunners, so to speak, in their team.
Well, he's a couple down at the moment because he was on David King early, and they've had to make some changes.
So the Kangaroos lead by 21 points. They've kicked 4 goals, 3. And David King has kicked 3 of them. Umpires found a free kicker to go to the Pies. Wakeland.
Interesting decision, that one, Rob. I am mic'd up, or I have got the facility of listening to the umpires, and they said he didn't have it then, Shane Wakeland. But he looked as if he had touches to...
Oh, well done. Sorry, Jared. There was another look
again.
And precision delivery. And that was that young Shaw of Scotland, was it? That delivered that off the right. And his execution was just as good as it was previously to Burns off the left.
Tell you what, Robbo, plenty of people want to tell you the Pies will win the wooden spoon. When you look at their forward line, the names, Rocker, Fraser, Cole, Tarrant and Malloy, they've got plenty of potential up there, as Malloy is just a little bit errant in his goal kicking. But they are 4 pretty powerful boys.
I think the key, Jared, whenever you go forward, is to try and get there as quickly as possible with as much precision as possible, isn't it? You know, you give your opponent or your teammate a chance against his opponent if you get it down there quickly.
Makepeace had to run the gauntlet. Trouble here, got the handball away. And the Roos can clear through Clayton, but not before some nervous moments. Kicks towards centre wing. And the Magpies with the numbers. Buckley appeals for the free kick. So too to the legion of Collingwood fans here tonight. Sinclair towards half forward on the left side. King can't do a thing wrong. He's still got time to go and get a tassel. I don't ticket for tonight. He's killing them at the moment. Now Rocker. Simpson couldn't take it. In there again was Harris. The Magpies will have the chance to repel here through Prestigiacomo, who wisely went for the boundary. And we'll have a throw in.
Well, Wayne Carey may well be on the bench, but King is still dominating across half forward.
I was waiting for it.
He has been on fire, and he's taking overhead marks, as we just saw.
There's Wayne Carey laughing about.
There he is. Not Wayne Carey, it's David King on top of the shoulders.
Blakey squares it up. The Magpies have the numbers here. They just need a bit of luck. And Mark would have seen them on the rebound, but instead it's the Roos through Rawlings. Short pass, didn't hit a target. Stevens did beautifully to ride the bump. Hamill at the half. He loves these. He should kick a goal and does. Brent Harvey's kicked his first. The Roos have got 5 on the board in the first term.
Well, I think that just by sheer weight of numbers around the ball, that was an ordinary delivery by Rawlings. But again, you can see that there seems to be a lot of the blue and white verticals.
And Blakey there off the ball was enabled him to get the football in the first place.
Well, that's not a good sign. You know, the old stage of the old campaigner, Mickey Martin, and he's got a strong body. He may have pulled a hamstring, maybe, Jared, by the look of that. And medical staff attending to Mickey Martin on the boundary line. Colbert going back with the flight of the ball. Chance for the Magpies. Quick kick out of there. Malloy racing with Archer. Archer plays. Once again, you can see there 3-1. And that's a great sign, I feel, in Aussie rules, when you get the players' preparedness to run and help, whether they're going to get the ball or not, but they put the numbers around the ball to give themselves a chance to gather it.
Makepeace brings the ball back in again for the Kangaroos. Brady Rawlings had a big first term, takes the mark, squares it up to Sinclair. Some real youth running through this side at the moment at the Kangaroos. Really positive signs. Here's Shannon Grant, Norm Smith medalist. Handball to Colbert on centre wing. Handball back to Grant, who runs through the lines and kicks towards half forward, as they've done so often. Front and square, Stevens couldn't take it. Here's a chance for the Magpies to repel Wakeland. Some real pressure on in defence. What are you pointing at, Robbo? Go to the wing.
Reeshaw.
And Reeshaw it was who takes the mark. So finally some opportunities here for the Magpies through the pace of Reeshaw. Kicks towards half forward. No one on for the Magpies. Archer did well to hit the pack. enjoying his battle with Malloy so far. Here's Rawlings. Another possession for him. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Hutchie, when I'm throwing my hands in the air, I'm indicating that Reece Shaw, who had a little bit of space to maybe straighten up and have a bit of a look to try and find an opponent or kick to the open spaces. He kicked it for Byron Pickett to come in over the top and punch the ball clear. Scotland, now Grant for the Kangaroos, over his right shoulder, and a good mark by Blakey in front of Jukovic. Well, you have to admire this fellow. I mean, apart from doing all the summer training for what's probably something like 17 years, he's still going grandly. Now the Kangaroos get the ball well inside their forward 50. Oh, well done. Mark taken by Prestigiacomo, who seems to be growing in stature each season that he plays for the Magpies. Shaw goes short, and Freeborn is marked in the right back pocket for Collingwood. The ever-zealous David King minding the mark, not prepared to give away a centimetre. Freeborn bounces it up in the air again. Not Rocker, it's Colbert interfering there with Tarrant, and Tarrant will take the free kick. He's still behind the wing. O'Brien finding it difficult to get into the game, and that was a holding decision, I guess, against Lee Colbert.
Tarrant towards half forward. This is where the Magpies have fallen down all night so far in the first term. Somehow Buckley ends up with the football, though. He's 60 out. He uses it pretty well. Goes for Malloy, who got both hands to it. Nearly pulled in a specky. Couldn't quite take it. Reece Shaw on the right foot. Overweighted the kick. And the ball dribbles over the boundary line and out of play as quarter time bears down upon us. Magpies maybe with one last opportunity to score before quarter time.
Good second effort there by Jared Malloy. He was brought to the ground, and rather than just going for the free kick, he just maintained possession and slipped out the handball, which created a shot at goal.
Malloy and Archer. Archer tried to take it out of the ruck contest, and in the end was rewarded with the free kick. They had a good first term, as has Shannon Grant, as the siren sounds to end an action-packed quarter time. An action-packed first term. The Kangaroos go into the break with a healthy lead of 26 points.
Yes, well, and there's the man who was the star in the opening term. David King has just absolutely jumped the gun. He's kicked 3 goals, including 1 banger, which I'm sure we're going to hear more of later through the season. But at quarter time, it is Kangaroos 5-3-33, a handy lead over Collingwood. They're 1-7. Well, after a minor adjustment and much discussion between the goal umpires, Robbo, we can confirm that the score has been changed on the scoreboard. It is 1-8. The Pies and the Kangaroos are still 5-3-33. A most impressive quarter by the Kangaroos.
They were sensational, and I think Hutchie made mention of the fact that they're as keen as mustard. So the play about to start for the second term. Kangaroos 5-3-33, lead Collingwood 1-8. Umpires found a free kick. The umpire, well, he was a long way away. He wasn't the officiating umpire who bounced the ball to start the term. He was back on the defensive end of the square from where this ball is being kicked from. Shane O'Brien is the recipient of the free kick, and he will go wide, very wide, out to right half forward. Malloy provides the lead, gathers quite nicely in the finish, and does well for a big fellow. Where will this bounce? It avoids Pickett. Now they're a chance. Tyson Lane. Snapshot by Lane. Just what the Maggies were looking for. The start of the second term, the goal to Lane.
Well, it's a good pickup by Tyson Lane, and you could argue that one he shouldn't have got, because it was an uncharacteristic mistake here by the Kangaroos. A driving kick in by O'Brien saw Malloy just showing what he can do. He's got some good pace and good support there by Johnson to unsettle Glenn Archer. But there's the mistake, just a little bit of an overrun and a fumble, and they kill you, don't they? You get a chance, you've just got to bury that football.
So maybe that'll give the Magpies some confidence. McKernan went up and tried to take it out of the middle, did well in the end, and kicked towards half forward. Lang up. Lang went bang, almost took the mark, couldn't in the end. Here's Freeborn, an ex-premiership player for the Roos, kicks towards half forward. And we mentioned they're falling down across half forward, Jared, as Colbert takes the mark. Anthony Rocker yet to have a possession in this game. And
Lee Colbert has racked up 10, so a pretty fair start. I thought Adam Lang was a little bit stiff there not to get the mark earlier.
Here's King again. bursts through the pack, handballs to his own team's advantage. Savronka rides his ex-teammate into the ground. Oh, crunch through there went Rintoul, who's on the ground.
They're both good there. Both players were very good there.
It's King in the arms of the trainers.
That might be David King, is it, that's in trouble?
David King there in the arms of the trainers as Grant goes to Colbert again for possession number 11. Back to Shannon Grant. And I think he might have worked it out the full out there. Just one of those little dinky handballs onto the boot.
He did it very, very well, actually. It is David King in the hands of the trainers.
Well, he was met pretty solidly. It was a great tackle there. But another good battle going on in midfield between O'Brien and Shannon Grant.
Rintoul takes the mark for the Magpies, lays it off to a fellow recruit in Wakeland, kicks towards centre wing. On the left foot with precision, the mark was taken by Tarrant, who snuck away for a rare occasion from Colbert. Kicks to Malloy.
Jumped early.
And the spring on, the vertical spring, if you like, there, Robbo, was fantastic.
Well, he jumped early, which made Archer, just put Archer out of stride ever so slightly. And Malloy, first-class effort there.
He's got nothing on here, has he? In the end, found something when there wasn't anything on. And Nathan Buckley,
you know,
just
really
found some space.
Hutchie, in those circumstances, and I'm sure, Jared, you'll agree with this, it's so important that that kick is weighted right, isn't it? I mean, this is really a good kick. I'm sure he saw Nathan Buckley, and the kick just had to be perfect. And Buckley didn't let him down, took the mark, and here's a chance for Collingwood to get their third.
Five-time Copeland Trophy winner, equal record down at the club, Nathan Buckley. And the Magpies are on the way back. Buckley's kicked his first, and the Pies creep within 13.
Well, great piece of work there by Jared Malloy. He's been pretty competitive in this second term. And we're going to have a look at this once again. But interesting, Jeff Geeshan has just sent a message down to Hayden Kennedy to make sure he gets all the water boys off the ground who he thinks are loitering out there and blocking up proceedings. So it'll be, we'll just keep an eye on the way that the umpires deal with the extra personnel out on the ground as David King comes back to consciousness. I think he was in the land of the fairies there for a while.
Well, Josh Fraser doing the ruck work up against McKernan, who's been quite dominant at the centre bounces. O'Brien does well. His hands were terrific. Johnson off the right. He's a natural left footer, of course. Now Tarrant, can he gather? Hand passes back to Jukovic. Jukovic high across his body. Gee, it's not what the forwards want to sit underneath. Oh, Colbert, he just threw himself at the football. Umpires found a free kick. It's going to the Kangaroos. Holding the jumper by the look of it. And Shannon Grant will take the free kick at left half back.
Well, irrespective of that, once again, Hutchie, you pointed out the form of Lee Colbert. We saw it on display there again. He's on fire.
Grant to centre wing. Archer, or Harris it was.
Can't do that.
And
he can't do that. He put his hand in the face of his opponent. The umpire very much on the scene.
And the Magpies will take the free kick. It was rugby style, wasn't it, almost? Trying to bust open a pack. Here's Freeborn, kick to half forward. Dimartino did pretty well to work it towards Malloy's advantage. It's an old-fashioned wrestling match down there. Malloy and Archer. We want to run into them at 3 o'clock in the morning outside a nightclub, Jared.
Evens each of 2.
No, I think we'll just get clear of that one. But you're right, Robbo. Hayden Kennedy was pretty explicit there, saying you can't fend off, particularly around the facial area.
Yeah, not much in that.
Boundary throw in at right half forward. The Magpies look as though they've settled just a little bit here. Oh, some tremendous bravery running with the ball.
Buckley's gone down there a little bit.
Rawlings, was it? Oh, gee whiz. They throw themselves everywhere, the players of today. Nathan Buckley a little distressed behind play. He's not into the medical staff there that he feels as if obviously he'll be okay, but he just needs a second or two to recover his position.
Paul Blackman, the doctor there, actually pushed Anthony Stevens away, I reckon.
Here's a chance for
Anthony
Didak.
Stevens won't leave him alone.
Didak for the Magpies, all the way to full forward. Big punch. Oh, disciplined play again by Colbert, having very much an impact across that half-back line. Anthony Stevens having plenty to say to Buckley. This is where Buckley hurt himself. He just after that, he must have dived straight back into the action, and he got a bit of a knock, but he looks as though he's okay. Opportunity for Dimartino. Gets a score, are behind.
Well, for the second time tonight, Hutchie, we've seen one of the extra personnel on the ground come to blows, perhaps not blows, but engaged in some physical contact with the players.
Well, we saw David King earlier, of course, in an altercation with, I think it was Peter Harrington, the Collingwood runner. And then we just saw the Magpies medicos tangling with Anthony Stevens, who wouldn't leave Nathan Buckley alone while he was getting treatment. That's how close he's playing him tonight, Robbo. As Simpson takes the mark on centre wing for the Kangaroos. Ranging left foot kick. They do this so well, the front and square. This occasion it falls out the back where the Magpies were
kick short, must kick
on
short.
The overlap.
There's no one to go to.
Short pass was good, and now Freeborn runs through the lines. Handball to Tarkin Lockyer, needs to sit for him. Did pretty well in the end of Scotland, who's been their best playmaker tonight. Handball over again towards Freeborn, kicks inside 50. Big chance for Malloy and Archer. Gee, it's a fun contest, that one at the moment. And the ball beat everyone through for a rush behind. But the Magpies are making more of a contest here.
Oh, they're going particularly well, and they're getting the run through the middle of the ground from their defenders. But Tarkin Lockyer there would be pretty upset with his teammate because he was on the move. He was going to kick that ball deep into the forward line. The handball didn't hit the target, went to his ankles, and it almost broke down for the Pies.
Makepeace to bring it back for the Kangaroos. Goes short and finds Harvey. Didak is back on the interchange bench. Reece Shaw.
They worked their way back into the contest, so the Pies, and the next goal would, I think, really cement the momentum.
Clayton for the Kangaroos at right half back. 3-4 to 5-3. Margin 11 points. Nearly the mark, not paid. Well done there by Burns to Lockyer, to Rintoul, now to Jukovic. Jukovic, good kick. Well done. Spotted and delivered. Scotland, who is quite skillful off the left or the right, goes to Johnson. Could nearly kick a goal here if he can straighten up. He couldn't quite get the impact. The ball bouncing in the square. Well done. Shaw! Oh, good play by the young Maggies. The knockdown was terrific, wasn't it? May have come from Tarrant, was it? And I like to see just the players that haven't played a lot of footy. I know Reece Shaw was there last year. To inexperienced player, just has to be terrific for their confidence.
Well, we spoke about getting the next goal. This one comes, I think it was actually Jared Malloy. Let's have a look. It was a mongrel kick from Johnson. But you're right, Robbo, spot on. It was Chris Tarrant, I think. And he got it down straight to young Shaw, and bang, they're back in this game.
The Magpies within 5. Entertaining night, a beautiful night here in Melbourne, and a terrific contest to match with a big crowd, plenty to play for both sides. Of course, a semi-final berth, what both sides need for different reasons. As Grant goes inside 50, Petrie's on the ground, couldn't take the mark. Off the ground, Prestigiacomo, who's actually having a stellar night, had the better of Severio Rocca.
Well, that's right. I think Simon Prestigiacomo is just a definite old-fashioned defender who plays his man close, plays the percentages. I'll tell you who's doing a pretty good job for the Magpies in defence too, Shane Wakeland.
Yep. So Rocca and Prestigiacomo played in plenty of intra-club practice matches against each other. First time in the real stuff tonight. Scotland trying to do too much, and it really could hurt his side here because the Kangaroos have got the free kick, and it'll be Simpson, who's well balanced here for a left footer. Will draw the ball back. What do you think here, Jared?
Well, as I said, they're red hot, the umpires, with this one. So if any half opportunity, you're going to get pinged. There's the draw. You called it right. Touchy straight through the middle.
So the Kangaroos creep back to an 11-point lead, courtesy of Adam Simpson back from a foot injury tonight.
You wonder, Jared, whether I don't know whether Mickey Malthouse would be all that disappointed. I mean, his endeavours are there to try and be creative from across the half-back line. He was caught out, but it's not necessarily the Kangaroos dominating. It was the error that the young fella made in his endeavours to try and create something for his teammates down the field.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be unhappy with that. At the end of the day, he just miscued with his handball, and the ball spilled out. The umpire made the correct decision, but I think Mick Malthouse will be a lot more pleased this quarter than he was last.
An advantage free kick. Buckley jumped on it quickly, thumps it in towards the full forward area. Malloy, well done. Gee, there's a great battle looming there between Archer and Malloy, but on this occasion, the powerful frame of Jared Malloy, difficult for Glenn Archer to displace, and he's marked about 25 metres out, slight angle.
Well, I think all judges would have Jared Malloy in front on points at the moment. He has exposed the Kangaroos with Mickey Martin going off.
Well done too. Good kick, goal. Kangaroo Magpies.
He's doing better in this time slot than Mick Malloy did.
Jared Malloy's first goal. The Magpies have got their fifth, and it is back to a 5-point margin in favour of the Kangaroos.
Well, that was a long bomb in, and well, just the strength. Glenn Archer would come up against few players that are his equal and potentially stronger. And there's Jared just having a look up at the replay just to see how it looked. Not too bad at all.
So an engaging second term. It's been terrific stuff so far, and the Pies have almost levelled up here. We'll have another ball up, and in fact, holding the ball, well, it was red hot, that one, I reckon, but anyway, O'Bree's got it. Looks like the lead singer of a rap band at the moment. O'Bree goes inside 50. Makepeace. Now Pickett. And nice stinky little kick along the ground for a throw-in.
5 free kicks to 2 in favour of Collingwood in the second term, if it's of any consequence.
Fraser again against McKernan. Magnificent night for football. Back in a big way tonight. Fraser with the hit out. Here's McCartney, who's been brilliant against Anthony Rocker. Makepeace now, getting plenty of the football on his left side. Kicks towards centre wing. It came off the leg there on that occasion of Shane Wakeland. And haven't the Wakelands had a good start to the season?
Most definitely, Hutchie, and well, it might be just what they needed. They may have been bogged down in their positions at St Kilda, and you never know, the changes that were made could advantage the Saints as well. Boundary throw in, Fraser does well, gets it to Lockyer. Lockyer blindly, nearly breaking down. Colbert with desperation, gets the handball wide. Now it finishes with Simpson, inside his defensive 50, kicks out wide. Good gather in the finish by McKernan for a big fellow. Kick forward for the Kangaroos by Blakey, out on the full. So the free kick will be taken for Collingwood by Johnson. Scotland, now Burns. Burns towards full forward. Not bad either for Dimatina. Couldn't take the mark. Chance for the Kangaroos. Cochrane's hand pass. Now it finishes with Clayton. Clayton straight towards half forward, but Prestigiacomo was advantaged there by the kick. The kick was about 4 out of 10, and so is that.
It's another chance.
Clayton again, just forward of centre wing. 6-3 to 5-4. We've got 8 minutes left of the second term. The mark has been taken by Rocker, and he'd be a definite chance to score. He's the man on the mark is about 50 metres from goal. And Prestigiacomo has done a pretty good job on Sav Rocker. Rocker 1 kick so far for 1 behind.
Looks fit, doesn't he?
Well, he's obviously enthusiastic to try and resurrect his career. I mean, he's still young enough to play 3 or 4 more years if they see fit to persevere. And this is what he's employed to do. Kick goals from here. Beautiful kick. Wonderful kick by Rocker as a goal. So Sav Rocker has got his first goal in the last 1/3 of the second term. Struggling a little, just a couple of kicks, but we'll have another look at this build-up. There's poor kick coming out of defence, and Clayton in the finish had a chance. His previous kick forward was ill-directed, but this one, Hutchie, certainly to the advantage of the key forward.
And the advantage of knowing the football's always going there for the Kangaroos, isn't it? That hot spot, around 40, 50 out. And Sav Rocker fitting in well tonight. That's his first.
Beautiful kick by Sav Rocker.
So it'll be McKernan. And Anthony Rocker's been put in the ruck, I think you'll find. There he is, trying to get some possession. Ball socket off the ground towards half forward. Anthony Stevens in and under. Got the kick away. Did pretty well. Chance here again. Now McCartney running through. Lang there also. O'Bree, Freeborn. Some good build-up here towards Burns. Here come the Pies as Dimatina's got it. The forward line's open. They've got to make something of it here. Malloy couldn't quite take it. At the fall of the football, Reece Shaw threw it on the boot. disappointing finish as Robbo belts the desk.
Jared, what do you say to a young fella like that when he sees the replay? What is the most important thing that you would try and convey to him there?
Just understand that you have got a bit more time. If you're running that flat out, that you're going to probably have 2 or 3 yards on your opposition, and to make the most of the opportunity, as Buckley has another one.
Buckley loads it up, 55 out. What all about it? Nathan Buckley's kicked a beauty and Colonial Stadium jumps to its feet.
I'll tell you what, I have been singing his praises for 4 years. There's been a lot of question marks asked about him with his use of the ball by foot. I'll tell you what, you can't fault that.
You'd be pretty harsh if you could find fault with that one, Robbo. It was a brilliant kick, and on the back of the Reece Shaw miss, it was an important one because the Pies, they just look sharp in the middle. They're very quick, got a pacey team out there tonight, but they need people to kick goals for them, and Buckley is one of the primary targets.
Magnificent kick by Nathan Buckley for a goal. 7-3 play, 6-4. McKernan getting rid of his opponent illegally. In the jumping contest, I think he may be penalised as well. He's been given 50 metres for verbalising, and that will put the opponent receiving the free kick within 40 metres even closer.
Well, he's still saying, Hayden Kennedy, that you both jumped up and you just pushed him out. It's a pretty harsh decision, I call.
Well, the ruck contests are making no sense at the moment, are they?
Well, that one didn't to me, and I mean, Hayden Kennedy's had his view of what happened, but it didn't look as if Corey McKernan had any intention other than tapping the ball, and it was Rocker that looked like he jumped early. And then to get 50-metre penalty for kicking the ball down, I think it was for Robbo, to add salt to the wound. Made it a pretty harsh one.
You see a replay, he certainly had a chat to the umpire too, Jared. But it gives Anthony Rocker a chance to get a goal and a real bonus for the Magpies. A big bonus, they're 7th.
And they've hit the front for the first time this evening as McKernan comes from the ground. I reckon that would have been a preordained move.
Telephone.
As Drew Petrie comes on, there's a replay. Now, there's confusion today at the game here as well with Geelong and Port Power. Some real congestion with the umpires. Jared, you're privy to their thoughts tonight through your headset.
Well, I can just tell you that Jeff Gushin just sent down to Hayden Kennedy that was the right decision because the 2 hands went into Rocker's midriff. But if you look at it, that was just a reflex action because he got Rocker's knee in his midriff. So I would take counter view to both Jeff Gushin and to Hayden Kennedy there.
And some real impetus here with the Magpies. They're on the burst at the moment. Rintoul run down, holding the football. The Kangaroos can repel.
Just lost the plot there, Rintoul, didn't he? Maybe not quite up to the pace of it there, but certainly run down quite fairly from behind.
Stevens' kick didn't go the way he wanted it to, but found Blakey. Terrific arm wrestle at the moment. Both sides falling in and out of momentum as Blakey kicks towards full forward. Savrocker was up, couldn't take it. Freeborn's little handball. Johnson needed to take that and didn't. And the kick on goal has hit the post. I think it was Lee Harding who's just on the ground, a former Geelong VFL player. And it was indeed.
Thank goodness he's wearing a long sleeve jumper, Archie, because we have got no idea what he looks like. But it's a bit of a hope when you see the young fella with a long sleeve Guernsey on.
Thanks for your help there, Robbo.
And to his mum and dad, we will realise who he is, mum and dad, next time we watch, because we will be a little bit more used to it the more airtime, more play time he gets.
Scores are level, and I just wonder whether it's not time for Wayne Carey to come on. If he's going to have an impact on this game in the first half, it's now or never.
We just saw him warming up on the boundary line there.
Gee, that's
Ben Kinnear works the ball over the boundary line.
Yeah, that was another example of a player coming off the interchange bench and just not quite used to the tempo, and Kinnear dropping the mark.
Anthony Rocker. We just saw Carey a moment ago. He's only been in full training for a couple of weeks. He won't be doing much tonight, that's for sure. The Cottonwall approach applies. Blakey to Rocker at full forward. Bounce, bounce, bounce. I thought it was touched, but it wasn't. Jukovic thought it was touched, but it's a goal. John Blakey's kicked his second. The replay will tell the story. Jukovic thought it was touched. As we take a look at it now, Blakey's kick. And just look here at the back of the pack. No, probably didn't quite get the fist on it, did he, Jared?
I wouldn't have thought so. Not the way it is spinning pretty truly there, Hutchie. She was a good goal there, fortunate one, but John Blakey now with 2 goals has once again had an impact.
The theatrics of the goal umpire. Love to keep us guessing, the goal umpire. Nathan Buckley not able to take the ball away. O'Brien does. Kick forward by Johnson to a vacant area at left half forward. Kinnear, don't fall over. McCartney was concentrating to stay on his feet, and he got the kick away. Oh, top effort by Harvey in front of Scotland, and he may have not been paid the mark. The umpire indicating that his jumper was being held. We watch again. Harvey perhaps not being paid the mark, but then being dragged to the ground and grabbed by the jumper. So Harvey for the Kangaroos, kicks them in towards half forward. High leaping play there. Wakeland grabbed by the jumper, dragged off the ball. Desperate stuff by the Magpie forwards. Burns gets the ball out wide. Johnson plays the percentages in front of Tarkin Lockyer and knocks it clear for a boundary throw, and all clear, says the field umpire. Right half forward for the Kangaroos. Off comes Cochrane. Back on goes Sinclair for the Kangaroos. 8-4 to 7-4. A goalie advantage for the Kangaroos. 4 minutes left in the term. Chance for the Kangaroos. Simpson to Harvey. Back onto his preferred right foot. Kicked. Oh, leap and mark! South Rocker! What the fans come to see. The high leap, the great mark. And for Kangaroo fans, Sav Rocker go back and kick a goal.
And you can hear the cry of every Magpie supporter in the crowd. Why wasn't he doing that for us last year?
Well, you don't need a lot of incentive, do you? Just put the team that you've left, put their jumpers in front of you. And this is the stage he's got here. Sav Rocker goes back, punch the goal. He's got a couple.
And I was having a look at Wayne Carey when he was having with the replay, and he had a great grin on his face, and we just saw him there just smirking along there, aided by the mouth guard, of course. He'd be pretty pleased. I was just thinking before he grabbed that mark that it may well have been Sav off for Wayne Carey just for a couple of minutes before half-time. Maybe that'll change the thinking of Dennis Pagan, but here he comes. Big Sav, and courageous performance by Corey McKernan, who was just sitting underneath the big fellow.
Some coaches with some headaches this year when they meet the Kangaroos. Rocker, McKernan. Who can forget Carey? Even Lang.
Well, I don't know what's going on with the ruck.
Well, the ruck really is confusing at the moment. Petrie kicks towards full forward. Rocker again couldn't take it. Chance at the fall of the football for Shannon Grant. High up and under kick. Simpson's in the box seat. Can he get it? No. Beautifully done. Prestigiacomo and Jukovic with a double team. They did well there. And the Magpies have just got to hang on here till half-time. Inside 3 minutes left. They trail by 12 points.
Yeah, the free kick was paid against Anthony Rocker for blocking the run, but he didn't have to get out of the way.
Should just explain that Jared's privy to a trial tonight. Some communication between the umpires' coaches. And
great tackle by the young boy there.
The umpires wired for sound out on the ground and being told where to go and what to do. Interesting stuff, that. Jukovic could have turned it over. Lucky Lockyer mopped up. And in the end, kick for touch. Buckley just got the chance to add a stat to the stat sheet there as the ball dribbles over through the agency of Wakeland. The Kangaroos by 12 points. Brody Rawlings about to come back onto the ground for the Kangaroos. Kernan and Rocker, who had a very quiet first term. Won by Rocker. Buckley and Stevens. Buckley, terrific, wasn't he? Just burst off half-back, ran out of options, then squared it up nicely towards Scotland, I think it was. It was Rintoul. Blakey in there hard with O'Brien. And we've got a whistle on play as Freeborn locks it up against his former teammates. A few of those in this game tonight. A bounce on centre wing.
John Blakey, 8 possessions, a couple of goals. David King, 7, 3 goals. Started in just electrifying fashion, David King. got a knock or hit the ground pretty hard earlier in this term, and has taken a little bit of time to get back into the game.
Well, we've got a minute and 29 seconds to go, and the North Melbourne runner has just burst from the blocks and he's out there. Whether or not they're going to throw the King on there for just a minute, 90 seconds, who knows? He's warming up on the boundary line. He's
surely not.
Well, they may be just using the time here to get him right for the second half. But
Magpies have got to get a goal out of this. Don't mind the look of Jukovic. He goes long, doesn't quite get the impact. It's going to go through. It's missed everyone. 4 buys and a goal.
Free kick, Robbo.
Oh, you're kidding, Jared.
Where's the umpire's sense of theatre?
That was just a fantastic piece of play. In the dying minute and a half of the first half, not allowed the goal. The Kangaroos will go forward. Malloy dumps McCartney, but we watch Makepeace kick the ball to half forward. And on the other end of the ground, Sinclair, going for goal, has missed what looked to be a simple chance for the Kangaroos. How did you see that push out? We perhaps haven't been.
Robbo was,
you were
just watching the ball.
Excited, yeah. Well, the umpire was pretty adjacent to the scene.
And a costly one of sorts, isn't it? Because it would have been 6 points, now it's 13. And if the Kangaroos can squeeze one here in the last 40 seconds, it could be very costly. Jukovic towards half-back. Good-looking kick. Mark was taken by Benny Kinnear. Kicks towards centre wing. McCartney did well. He's an inspired player, McCartney, at the moment. Here's O'Brien on centre wing. Through Rintoul. Kick towards Malloy and Archer. Terrific contest. We've enjoyed that all night, as we've mentioned. Makepeace was there, but Malloy did well. Handball off to Buckley. He's dangerous, so they let him loose. Here's Malloy again. Tries to bust open a pack. Couple of hard nuts in there for the Kangas. One of them, Archer. None tougher than him. The kick squeezed out by Simpson. Anthony Rocco went bang and just crashed through the Kangaroos there on that occasion, freeing up Sinclair, who goes towards McKernan. Couldn't quite get it. And the whistle sounds to end an entertaining half-time. First half as Colbert, in the hands of the trainers, was caught in that pack. And not what the Kangaroos needed. We see King there also, having a chat with Brady Rawlings, who also copped the nasty one there. So
well, it was Anthony Rocca that ran into Brady Rawlings.
As the first replay we'll see, and Colbert just at the back there, falling on his side. And a little bit winded on that occasion. And it was Anthony Rocca involved with Brady Rawlings.
Hutchie, we've seen teams, all teams, I think, in this Ansett Cup struggle a little bit for goals, but it opened up a little there where the Kangaroos kicked 4 and Collingwood kicked 6 in the second term. At half-time, the Kangaroos 9-5-59, lead by 13. Collingwood a 7-4-46.
Well, the Kangaroos lead by 13 points, and the King is on the field, and already he's back into the action, jostling and bustling along with Shane Wakeman.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Attempted intimidatory tactics so early in the season. 9-5 plays 7-4, the start of the second half. McKee for the Magpies. Lockyer not able to take the ball with him. Knocked forward by Stevens. Now Rawlings for King, run down by Burns. Handball wide, Stevens off the right. He's a natural left footer, doesn't do too bad, gets the ball all the way to the goal line, and it bounces through for the first score of the second half. A behind to the Kangaroos. 9-6-60, 7-4-46, the margin is 14 points in favour of the Kangaroos.
Jared, you've had a bit to do with David King through the State of Origin side. Where do you like him best? Midfield, back or forward?
Well, I think he's built himself into a player that can play it all into the ground. If you just have a look at this one, I'll get
Here's
back to
Carey.
that Hutchie.
55 out, first possession for the season. Will it be a goal? Not enough on it. And it's rushed through for a minor score. A real buzz around the ground as Carey back in full harness tonight. Spent the first half on the interchange bench if you've just joined us. Been back in training for 2 to 3 weeks with ball work. And he's among the action tonight. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jared.
Well, just going back to that one, Brent Harvey, it was one where I'm sure he didn't think he'd get to the front of the pack, and it was a mark that he could have swallowed. But David King can play at either end of the ground. I think essentially He's a half-backer, but as we've seen, put the ball in his hands anywhere forward to the centre. And
oh, Prestigia Como, terrible stuff. And Harvey could have made him pay. It was a poor turnover.
It was equally as poor a kick from Ben Harvey. I'm sure he thought it was all over Red Rover, and the execution was left a lot to be desired there by Harvey.
If you've just joined us, you might have thought you'd turn on the comedy channel there. It wasn't pretty stuff. Locked, yep. From defence, but McKernan stood tall. It was a tumbling kick from Lockyer, which didn't help anyone. Here's Carey, who's got some space. What about the pinpoint spearing pass into the midriff of David King? And King has the chance. One king to another, as they say. King to kick his 4th goal.
Well, he's had 2 positions early in this match. Both have landed on the chest of his teammates. David King caught this one. In fact, he marked it. And he's going to line up for goal.
He looks cherry ripe, doesn't he, Wayne Carey? Sorry, Hutch.
Long break for him, of course. He's always dominated Ansett Cup series in the past. Finding some space too, which is the interesting thing, is King, who's had his kicking boots on tonight. This no exception. The Kangaroos leap out to a 22-point lead on the back of Wayne Carey.
Well, it's been a slowish start by the Magpies after the long break. And, well, they're going to have to be a little bit careful, because if the Kangaroos get a sniff, they'll just pile on the goals with their captain back on the field at centre half forward. Great conversion there by David King. He's had 4 opportunities to kick goals, and he's got them all.
10-8 to 7-4. McKernan up high. Sinclair to King. Tries the big torpedo. It's off again. Rocker overruns it. Prestigia Como. And back there for the Magpies, Kinnear, quite prepared to... Well, I guess he was just forced into the situation where he ran it over for a rush behind to the Kangaroos. So all the attacking in the early part of the 3rd term has been done by the Kangaroos. Look at this there, about 4-2 there, 4-3. Umpires found a free kick. It's going to the Kangaroos. Another holding incident, and this time in favour of Wayne Carey. He kicks into the pocket. The lead provided by Lang, and that was just a little too easy. From a Collingwood point of view, they'd be very, very disappointed. Out of the blocks very nicely, the Kangaroos. Carey, good spotting and good delivery.
Got a real option this year, haven't they, with Severio Rocker, to use Carey in all sorts of different roles without worrying about the gap in the forward line.
And Adam Lang is quite adaptable too. Can go on the ball, can play forward and play back. Bit of size about him. Good kick too. Nice. He converts. Lang, who spent a lot of the first half on the interchange bench, gets his first goal. And the Kangaroos have got the first 2 goals of the second half. And the lead now is 31 points. 29, actually. 29 points in favour of the Kangaroos.
We've just got to get back to getting the ball out of the centre, the Magpies.
Josh Fraser's had a quiet night. Just the 1 possession. McKee in the ruck, wins the hit out to the advantage of Buckley. Makepeace did well to ride with him, but Buckley was equally as good. Scotland ripped off it. Could have been a throw. Now Tarrant, a chance here for the Pies through Jukovic. And the kick wasn't pretty, to say the least.
The handball was on. I think it's O'Brien that's sort of throwing his hands in the air just a little further forward from where Jukovic kicked the ball.
As Anthony Rocker comes back on the ground, changing with McKee, who shakes his head at coming off the ground. Archer to bring the ball back for the Roos. Of course, they launched Operation Beware tonight outside the ground. What a sight it was. Dennis Pagan addressing the masses outside gate 6 before the game. Something new in football, that. Buckley. A chance now for Dimatina, in and under. And a nice, cute little kick. It was a Michael Slater catch that to Anthony Rocker. Wasn't paid. Brent Harvey in there also, was pushed in the back. Not much doubt about that one. And the Roos can clear. With all the numbers here, Sinclair, he's on his wrong side here. He won't like kicking this on the right. In fact, goes on the left. Towards centre wing. A chance for the Magpies. That was pretty well done there on that occasion by Kinnear, but Byron Pickett, his opposite number, did magnificently. Burns lays it off to Tyson Lane, who's usually a good user of the football. This is a good kick.
Oh.
Colbert, he's having a stellar night, as we've mentioned. Jukovic after it as well. Some athleticism there. And Jukovic bows his head in disappointment. But Colbert can hold his head high tonight because he's back in a big way for the Kangaroos.
He'd be a fair boxer too, Robbo, because he's used that left jab to great success tonight.
See, that was a good effort, wasn't it? Keeping his eyes on the ball and not interfering with his opponent as he ran with the flight. Kicked by Malloy to the goal front. And again, forcing a rush behind there for Collingwood.
The Kangaroos' masses behind the goals there were just pleading with the umpire initially, asking him for the free kick against Pickett for holding.
Pickett goes short. Simpson has taken the mark. Handball away back to Byron Pickett, running from the goal square, at which he kicked in from a behind just a few moments ago. Kick it towards half forward. Collingwood back there in numbers. Now the umpire's found a very, very technical free kick there. Didn't look as though there was much in that. And it will go back to McKernan near the centre circle. Stands and delivers. Ordinarily, lands the ball at half forward. Kinnear couldn't get the effective hand pass away. Stevens working industriously. Lang left it behind. Johnson missed with his hand pass. David King gathers. Gets around onto his right. Oh, found a path. Found a path and banged it through for a behind.
Hit the post. Can you believe that?
Only centimetres in it, of course. David King with 4 goals. Sav Rocker's kicked a couple. John Blakey has kicked 2. And the only multiple goal kicker for the Magpies has been Nathan Buckley.
It was like a slalom skier then, wasn't he, David King? Just went against the momentum of 2 players to find that second gap. Johnson, here's some opportunities here for Collingwood. They've got numbers galore. Scotland it is, and he's a great user. Expect something good here. Malloy on the lead's got it. That was a much better build-up. And you can see Archer's frustration there. Malloy, and he can kick this goal. Of course, he was Brisbane's leading goal scorer in 1999. He has a good record from this particular spot. Terrific kick from Scotland, but the build-up was terrific through Johnson. They need this Collingwood to keep their hopes alive. It goes sideways. It's a helicopter and drifts off to the rear landing pad for a behind. The Kangaroos by 28 is Mick Malthouse and his senior assistant Dean Laidley look on. Byron Pickett working to some good form. Brings the ball city side of Colonial Stadium. Good looking kick to Brent Harvey. Had plenty of the football also. Penetrating kick towards half forward. Lang, McKernan was there also. Rintoul was there with a handball. And the ball went over the boundary line. And a free kick has been paid. And you can hear the cheers of the Collingwood supporters. Because there haven't been too many of them tonight as Robbo goes for the stats on the free kicks. We'll give you those in a moment. Because they've had a pretty good run. Buckley! What a hanger! Buckley's taken a specky, an old-fashioned specky, and the kick's a good one. Just had too much on it, I spoke too soon. A terrific mark from Buckley. But Archer can play on for the Kangaroos and go short to Byron Pickett.
Well, that's soul-destroying stuff, isn't it? The captain takes a spectacular mark, team-lifting stuff, and then kicks it to the disadvantage. We watch again Nathan Buckley up over the top, but then his kick was marked by Archer, and it was a promising build-up, but no cigar for the Maggies. O'Brien, you can see there, 76 to 48, 28 points. The margin at half-time was 13. A couple of goals for the Kangaroos early in this term. There's no one in the forward half for the Kangaroos, so as soon as they, if they do gain possession, we would reckon it'll come forward in just absolute numbers. Infringing there was Stevens. The player didn't have the ball. It was Chris Tarrant. Umpire quickly on the scene. Tarrant to take the free kick.
And 50
metres. Well, that'll put him right on the goal line, won't it? Oh, there's another one. I think that's Anthony Stevens again. He wouldn't have been reported, would he? No, it doesn't look like it. Anthony Rocket giving him a little chit-chat. And there'll be no compliments there, I'm sure. We'll watch here now. Surely the player comes to directly in front of goal. And that makes an absolute certainty of it for Chris Tarrant. Badly needed goal for the Magpies. It's against the trend. There's Stevens and Buckley. Tarrant kicks the goal for the Pies. First goal for Tarrant, but importantly for Collingwood, against a trend. The Kangaroos had pretty well dominated the early part of this third term. Now, Magpies get their 8th, 11-10 to 8-6.
And here's the original free. Anthony Stevens just laying the tackle when the Pies didn't have the football, and we know what transpired, and Anthony Stevens is going to cop the wrath of Dennis Pagan. He gave away the 50 and off he comes.
Telephone.
So Stevens taken off for that indiscretion. The Kangaroos by 22 points. Fraser got the hit on that occasion to the advantage of Rintoul. The Magpies just starting to build something now. The Kangaroos have got numbers back in defence. Here's Jukovic. Can he get a handball away? I think he might have thrown that. The umpire was on it, I reckon. Play on to the umpire. No, he's coming back now.
50 metres now.
And the Magpies and their supporters will be furious about that. It definitely was a throw. I think the 50's a bit tough because you can be excused for thinking anything when the whistle blows these days, can't you? Jared, a throw here, do you think?
Well, that was a throw, there's no doubt about that, but I would have thought that Glenn Archer should have been paid the free kick anyway, because Jared Malloy took off half an hour early and just pile drove him into the ground.
The heavy timber go up. Kerry McKernan. King got a little handball away. He's looked dangerous all night. Brent Harvey working hard. Johnson had some footy. Pickett there also.
Another
punched
throw.
away. Oh, Carey met Wakeland heavily. He's back in town, the King, letting people know this is his turf. And the Kangaroo fans love it.
Pretty ordinary picking off, though. This is just picking off.
Watch this for a throw.
Yep, spot on. Well called. And there's Carey. Picking off, as Robbo calls it. The umpire's just trying to get some control here. And
Interesting, Hayden Kennedy is yelling out, reporting.
He's got reported.
What for, Jared? You're listening to the umpires in your headset.
Well, I haven't heard exactly why, but it's interesting that one umpire comes in on the ground and he's yelling out, reporting, which is actually influencing the other umpire. Let's have a look, see if there's anything happens.
And
oh, dear.
Little left-hand adjustment of the collar.
Well, all of a sudden, the Kangaroos are just looking a little bit fragile on the ground, and you can guarantee that David King will come off for a rest. Anthony Stevens up already waiting for the interchange.
Wasn't anything earth-shattering, that was it? Wasn't something that...
Yeah, but the silly thing is, there's so many cameras and there's so many umpires and there's so many observers. So you just can't afford that sort of an indiscretion.
It's a matter of whether it's determined as a chop, a punch, or just a slap. Slap gets him off.
Well done by Kinnear.
Buckley's on the end of it from Rocker. The 1-2. Buckley measures it up and just drifts away at the last moment.
There's David King on the phone. Robbo, what about Hayden Kennedy yelling out, reporting?
Well, I think that's the responsibility of the senior umpire. I don't quite recognise the chap who was the umpire in that area of the ground, Jared, but I'm sure he's here to learn just as much as the young players are to learn as well.
Well, he may be a senior umpire as well. You can't have somebody influencing a report, I wouldn't have thought.
Well, they're working in conjunction, surely, with each other, the three of them. Well, play goes on. Carey, Sinclair, kicks to half forward. Marcus taken by Burns. Just an opportunity here for the Magpies if they can post a goal or two, maybe while the Kangaroos look just a little ragged. They'll go forward here, Jukovic. Poor kick. It was a very, very ordinary kick under the circumstances. They had to make more of that. The Kangaroos will control the ball through Makepeace across their half-back line, and that's the difference, the precision. Stevens in the middle. Goes for Carey. Carey can give the hand pass off. He will decide to go back and kick, and he kicks short, and that's okay. The lead provided by Rocker, and the kick with much more effectiveness than, on the other hand, Andrew Jukovic's for the Magpies when they went forward at right half forward. Blakey coming off the ground, and Carey just giving Wakeland no chance whatsoever to intercept there on Sav Rocker. King very quickly back onto the ground for the Kangaroos. We watch Rocker from 55. A thumping
Cop
kick.
that.
A thumping kick by Sam Rocker. He's got 3.
Not a lot zone defence can do about that one.
He just kicks them goalpost high from 55, 60, doesn't he? As we have a look at the replay.
There's a smart kick, this one from Wayne Carey. Just dropped it into space, and he made it Sav Rockett's responsibility to get there. What a great kick.
But it's amazing. I mean, from one end to the other, it's happened twice. Jukovic kicked the goal. The free kick was given.
Yep.
It went up the other end. It was a 6-point turnaround. And on the other hand, just a few moments ago, Andrew Jukovic's kick had nothing to it, whereas Carey emphasises the difference between the abilities of the two players.
McKernan and Fraser to do battle. The Kangaroos have just crept out of here now, despite some good work from the Magpies this term. McKernan handballs forward. Stevens rode 2 bumps, squared it up magnificently to Cochrane, who got the handball away. King's got it again. He wants to kick another goal. He's got a real sniff at the moment. David King goes for goal again. And again he puts it through for number 5. He is a player on fire. He's electric at the moment, David King. He's booted 5 goals. And he just had that little Kevin Bartlett sniff about that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He was after it. That's the best, most entertaining brand of footy that the Kangaroos have played for a while. They are fantastic at present. And David King, well, he's gone from boiled lollies to chocolates in the space of 5 minutes. Been reported, but after copping the wrath.
The coach smiling, Dennis Pagan, in the box. He even enjoyed it.
It's interesting. King had 5 kicks for 3 goals in the first term. Just a couple of hand passes after he suffered a severe knock in the second term. He's come back with a vengeance. 6 possessions already and a couple of goals in the third term. Fraser goes for goal for the Magpies. Fraser kicks her behind. Josh Fraser kicks and hand passes. Just a little scarce from his point of view. Pickett kicks in. Misunderstanding. Rintoul being held. Didn't have the ball, according to the Magpie fans. Play allowed to go on. Rawlings, handball, misses its target. It was meant for Grant. He missed his target, which was meant for Pickett. Run down was Lane. Archer the tackler. Pickett gets the ball clear somehow. Clayton and then Cochrane. Cochrane through the middle of the ground. Kicks the ball directly towards Carey. They're in trouble here. Prestigiacomo can't quite get an effective hand pass on it. Sav Rocker, left foot snap for goal. Nothing coming of that. Kicks are behind.
They're the sort of things at ground level he couldn't do last year, Jared, through injury and probably a little bit heavier.
Well, I mean, last year is the past, this year is the future, and Sav has started in fantastic form. Particularly tonight, I think these 3 goals would give him a lot more pleasure than many others he's kicked.
Ball's on half-back with O'Brien. Handballs inside on this occasion to Didak, who's on the ground. Kicks towards centre-half forward. Byron Pickett backed himself. Tyson Lane relied on Byron missing it. The difference there was that Byron didn't. Took a very good mark at centre-half back. Kicks long towards centre-half forward. A big fly from McKernan. Haven't they got some options down there? You just sense every time the ball comes in, hearts in mouths in the defence. Buckley mops up. Short pass towards... There's a free kick actually here to Shannon Grant, who's been held. Handball off to Rawlings, kick towards half forward. Carey will hit the pack, made the contest. Was it late? The umpire thought not. Collingwood clear on this occasion through Johnson. Now Scotland, who's been held in close check. Buckley with a beautiful spearing pass. Chris Tarrant did not move and accepted it lace up.
Well, they've trailed by 32 points. Chris Tarrant must kick this if Collingwood are to be any chance in this game.
What a great kick. Tarrant for his second. And the Magpies' hopes are still alive. 2 goals to Chris Tarrant. And the Maggies, with 5 minutes to go in the third term, creep to within 26 points.
And once again, the goal coming off a rebound from centre-half back. And you're pretty pleased with this sort of kick, weren't you, Hutchie? Took the opportunity for a shepherd. There it was.
I did enjoy it, Jared.
Lace out.
Just like you used to deliver to Warwick Capper in those Brownlow years. Lace up.
I can't remember that far back.
Well, Buckley, 19 possessions and a couple of goals. He's doing his share, and now he's trying to force it forward once again. A little hack off the ground. Scotland dispossessed. Sinclair for the Kangaroos gets good distance with the kick, but only as far as Kinnear. Looked maybe as if he was trying to play on. Rintoul short towards half-back. He may still go there. He does. Hits the target, which is important. Wakeland's wide, and that's the direction in which he goes. Player Burns. He can't get away, though. Great minding of the mark by Cochrane. Forces the kick from Wakeland to go high in the air, and they're the sort of things that don't go unrecognised by the coaching staff, but certainly add to the flavour of any sort of victory that you're chasing in a game of football. The minding of the mark by Cochrane just chopped the Magpies' attempt to go forward off, and it'll be thrown in at left half forward. 13-10, plays 9-8, margin 26 points. A kick out of the ruck contest may have gone out on the full. It has. So the free kick will, as a result of that kick from Petrie, the free kick will go out wide to Wakeland. Kicks in towards left half forward, but covers the players in that area. Tyson Lane falling, dispossessed. A real struggle at half forward for Collingwood. Tackle there by Scotland on Petrie, is it? And the umpire calls for a ball up. Kinnear thought maybe that he was being called to the interchange bench. Anthony Rocker, handball all right, Johnson. Chance for Lane. Lane's shot goes up towards the full forward area. Buckley should get a free kick right in front. Ever-zealous Archer. You can't really question his endeavour, but he was just a little too enthusiastic there, and certainly gave the free kick away. The umpire quite prepared to pay it to Buckley right in front. Watch Archer from behind. Certainly an infringement.
It's actually funny, I'm listening to Glenn Archer down there via this new technology, and Glenn just said it was a great tackle.
Well, Buckley will say it's a great goal. Buckley's kick three. So Collingwood hit back. It was 32 points, it's back to 20.
Well, it was a great tackle, except he didn't have the ball when he pushed him in the back.
I don't think there was any doubt about that decision, albeit the difference of opinion from Glenn Archer. I think it was a pretty smart decision, and it was no question of pushing the back.
And they've pushed.
And a good decision by the coaching staff or Nathan Buckley, whoever made the decision to push himself down into the goal square and get that opportunity to have a shot.
Buckley brings the Pies back within 20. He's gone forward too to make things difficult for Anthony Stevens, his matchup. Wonder if I'll look at that one. As the ball comes forward towards Carey, punched away by Wakeland. Determined effort from him tonight. Paddles it towards the boundary line and finds it. And another one would be great here for Collingwood before three-quarter time, but I reckon they'd accept this score at the moment. It'll give them some sort of chance in the final term. 88 plays 68. Great contest. Wakeland and Rocker. Two men with points to prove. They got Johnson too high and let him know about it too. A free kick here to Johnson.
I wonder if they went to each other's place for dinner last year when they were teammates.
Benny Johnson wearing the number of his childhood idol, Gavin Brown. Kicks to Anthony Rocker. A little bit of an ironical cheer there from some supporters. Some
just his fourth kick, Hutchie.
Sections of the crowd. Unloads that. It's a monstrous kick. Fraser was in good position. Couldn't take it. Buckley again. Lurking is very dangerous at the moment. Scotland. Beautifully done by Makepeace, who really followed it up well. That was great football. And found it over the boundary line with two solid efforts. The second one, the best of them. Throw in.
There's been a change made. Pressure Giacomo is now picking up Carey because Carey's pushed down to full forward. And Shane Wakeland is staying out at centre-half back on Sav Rocker.
Petrie's had some hit-outs this quarter. He's doing well. Tyson Lane couldn't get the kick away. Came out to Buckley again. Underground handball. Brady Rawlings stripped of the football. Grant there also. Makepeace on the full.
See, that footy was hot there, wasn't it? You know, there were 4 or 5 possessions and eventually forced the error.
And O'Brien finds Tyson Lane, who's closer to goal, but as you can see on a difficult angle.
He's a goal kicker. Even when he was with the Bulldogs, he just managed to squeeze a goal out of nowhere. And I wouldn't be surprised if he dobs this.
And he's made the angle a little bit better, as most players tend to do these days. You go back a fair way and you run up.
Byron Pickett's indicating that he should be closer to the boundary line.
Tyson Lane, important kick for Collingwood's hopes tonight, and it is a beauty. Here come the Pies. Tyson Lane's kicked his second.
Good fight back, Jared.
Yep, 32 points of difference only 5 minutes ago,
They had a
Robbo.
flow too, didn't they, the Kangaroos? And I suppose it was maybe the report down here where, and the players coming on and off the ground through disciplinary reasons by the coach. Just give them a little bit of a sniff, the Magpies?
Maybe, but I think King came back and kicked that beautiful goal. I remember you saying that the next couple of minutes were all important for Collingwood, and they did respond. They kicked that goal and they're back in it.
Well, it's back to 14 points. You can see in the time there, we're into the last minute. And the Kangaroos going forward, very important few seconds. Rocker taps it back for Simpson. Simpson underneath. Tarkin Lockyer still, can they get it clear? Maybe the Kangaroos will. Harvey missing the ball completely there was Clayton. O'Brien puts some pressure on. In goes Petrie. Petrie kicks it. Magpies don't need a mark here to the opposition. Grant missed it. Knock on, very good. Lockyer. Waitland gives the hand pass down the line. Percentages here for the Magpies would be the boundary throw-in that Shane O'Brien has forced. And that may see the score remain as it is when the siren sounds in a few seconds for three-quarter time. 13-10 to 11-8. 14 points the margin. It was 32 points at one stage, probably only about as recently as about 8 minutes ago. And now the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go to the Kangaroos to be taken by Brent Harvey off the ball, indicating there that he was being shepherded away from it. Harvey kicks into the pocket. He's aimed for him and nearly got him. No free kick, no. Kangaroo fans screaming there for a free kick to their champion skipper, Wayne Carey, on screen. He's already had an impact, delivering the ball to Sav Rocker for a goal. Nearly got it to Harvey for another one. Magpies under pressure, right in front of goal. Carey gets the hand pass away. Cochran has the last kick, but the siren had sounded before that action had taken place, and it's three-quarter time at Colonial Stadium. Mickey Bolthouse down to address his charges. And at three-quarter time, the Kangaroos are 14 points in front. They are 13-10 to 11-8. Carey having a run in that third term. Hutchie, you mentioned that he hasn't done much training, but gee, he looks pretty sharp, doesn't he? And fairly hungry for the football.
He certainly does. At three-quarter time, the Kangaroos 13-10-88. Collingwood 14 points in arrears, 11-8-74.
Well, play about to get underway for the final quarter, with the Kangaroos taking a 14-point lead into the match, but midway through this third term, they led by 32 points. And it's been all Collingwood since, and it augurs well, Robbo, for a magnificent last quarter, with Collingwood attempting to get themselves into a final of any sort for some years.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 4 goals each in that third term. So the last quarter about to start. Nearly 29,000 people here tonight, 28,983, and the AFL, I would feel, would be ecstatic. Kangaroos working industriously before the game with plenty of tents trying to sell membership tickets, plenty of people connected with the Kangaroos of old, having plenty to say outside the ground. And of course Collingwood, they're looking for their team to surge forward this year with the introduction of a lot of their youngsters and the improvement of players that have had some experience now at AFL level. Loney putting the pressure on, and eventually Waitland and Carey in the action, but only to see the ball thrown in just inside the forward 50 for the Kangaroos.
Important for the first 5 minutes of Collingwood. Just man up and keep themselves in this match, because the Kangaroos have started every quarter with a fly.
Cochrane got the handball away. We've just tuned in. Mick Martin out of the game very early with a hamstring injury of sorts, we think. A couple of injuries too. The Magpies also. Freeborn may have done a hamstring, and I think Brodie Holland may have been in some discomfort down on the bench as well. Limped off. Ball kicked off the ground towards the boundary line. Shown a little bit tonight, Petrie, hasn't he, the youngster?
Yep.
197 centimetre beanpole.
Not big stats, but I agree with you. He applied a fantastic tackle in the second term on the opposite side of the ground to which this boundary throw-in has taken place.
And we'll see him in action here, the youngster. Punched away over the back. A chance for Shannon Grant. Beautifully called by the Brownlow medalist in the box. Kick towards full forward. Carey did the old goose step there, and then rode O'Brien into the ground. And the crowd wanted in the back. This gives O'Brien an extra dreadlock or two there. The umpire, cooler heads prevail in the end. We'll have a throw in.
What about when he gets up? You don't see that in the replay.
Anthony Rocker won the hit out. Magpies need to get something going here early on. Presta Giacomo. Tarkin Lockyer did well. Now Dimatina. Josh Fraser will have to go here. Courage from Stevens. Rode the bump, did beautifully. And kicks it magnificently to Rocker. Can't quite just get the big hands around it. The big mitts. Here's O'Brien again.
Free kick there.
Free kick at the fall. The football to Chad Rintoul. Lays the handball off now to Kinnear. Kicks towards half forward. Didn't really look where he kicked it, I don't reckon. And McCartney blocked the hole and took the mark. Handball over to Stevens. Kick towards Blakey. Loney did well, forced the spoil. Scotland back to Loney. Here's a nice left footer. As I say that, he lets me down with a kick, but here's Fraser. Hasn't had one of his better nights tonight. Loney again. Johnson.
Well done.
Showing the courage of number 26. Made famous by Brown. Jukovic unloads it to the square. Tarrant's got it. And the Pies are within 8. Chris Tarrant has kicked his third goal.
Well, it's a running power that is going to win this game for Collingwood if they can prevail, as Fraser Joshua comes from the ground.
And replaced by more of a mid-sized player in Steinford. So the onus on Anthony Rocker at the centre bounces.
Gee, Ben Johnson's been good, hasn't he?
Terrific. I think he's one of their key players. He certainly was terrific last week again. 18 possessions to Johnson.
So back in the middle of the ground, we've got a contest on here at Colonial. This is going to be a beautiful finish. 8-point ball game. Anthony Rocker won the hit. Petrie did well. Kick inside 50. And a free kick in defence for holding, I think it was. Jared Healy, did you hear what that was for?
No, I didn't hear and I didn't see, but it was obviously for a little bit of an infringement in the grabbing department.
Good vision and good delivery. Tarrant provided the lead. Well out in front of his opponent. Now he lobs the ball in towards half forward. Oh, good mark. A strong mark taken at half-back by Makepeace. For the Kangaroos, he goes out wide. The ball will bounce awkwardly. O'Brien applies the tackle. Ball spills to Sabrock, tackled by Tarrant from behind. All fair and above board. Now the free kick has got to come back. I think the umpire would have been prepared to play the advantage if Simon Prestigiacomo had been able to get the hand pass away. But tackle applied, he was locked up, so the ball comes back to Tarrant. We watch again.
Just a lack of awareness here, Robbo.
Yes, probably thought he had a little bit more time, which doesn't happen very often in a modern game of AFL football.
Oh.
Kangaroos under pressure across their full back line. Well done for the Kangaroos by Harris. Goes out wide. Mark is taken by Grant.
He looks a fair find, Harris.
Doesn't he what? Captain of the Vic Country last year at under 18 level. Very tough on baller. Short pass to Grant on centre wing. Makepeace again.
Like in the middle on his own.
Squares it up. You don't see that very often from the Kangaroos. Petrie. Now he goes with the long direct approach. And Anthony Rocker, looking far more comfortable in defence, floats across and takes the mark. In front of the King, Wayne Carey. 28,000 fans here tonight on the edge of their seats. Both sides still in this contest, playing for a spot in the semi-finals. And it means so much to both sides. Kangaroos, the much-needed cash injection, and Collingwood with a chance to instill some confidence. Here's Harris again, and the respect shown there was magnificent. He looked for Carey and found him. 55 out, goes for Shannon Grant. He's got the drop on it. It was Sinclair, almost bounced through.
Didn't go over.
And in the end, I think everyone was waiting for a free kick. Oh! What's happened here? Shepherding against Johnson. That is a hot potato. It looked for all money like he infringed right in front of the Magpie Army too.
I bet she doesn't go to that guy's place for dinner. What's wrong with that, Jerry?
Well, Robbo, it was such a late decision. I can't see where the free kick was unless it came after that.
He's allowed to stand his ground, isn't he? Surely. I don't think he put his arms out.
Listen to the boos as Sinclair kicks a goal.
Well, I'll continue to listen to see if I can get some explanation from Jeff Geeshan.
Hayden Kennedy talking to Scott Burns now. But the damage is done. Let's look at the replay
I thought the free kick was against Jess Sinclair for going way too early. In the back, over the shoulder. But maybe it was just a straight blue.
And the whistle came very late. I mean, Collingwood were about to clear the ball off the goal line. I think it might have been Wakelin who was coming away when the ball didn't cross the line. And then all of a sudden the whistle came and a free kick. Amazing chain of circumstances there. And it just might be the difference between winning and losing for these two combatants. Kangaroos have the advantage right now. And the ball is at half forward. It spills to the back. Burns, rugged. Rintoul down the ground. One-on-one. Well done, Tarrant. Got the front posse. Couldn't take the mark. I think it may have been paid. And then the umpire called play on. That could be a free kick to Lane. No. Handball back. Reece Shaw. Go for goal, Lane. Handball off. Go for goal, Tarrant. Too slow.
Great throw in the footy there, Robbo. Couple of opportunities there for Collingwood. They just didn't have the composure, and the umpire is arguing with Tyson Lane over whether the merits of the handball, but still the running power and the speed at which they're moving the ball, Collingwood, is worrying the Kangaroos.
14 points the margin. Lockyer gets rid of his opponent, gathers, gives away a little bit of ground, back to the skipper, Buckley into the pocket, and coughed it up. Touched off the boot, was it? And eventually it was Anthony Stevens who mopped up across half-back for the Kangaroos, forcing a boundary throw-in. 14 points the Kangaroos lead by, and the time left, just over 11 minutes.
Tell you what, it's a great innovation, listening to the umpires, but does it give the eardrum a workout?
Jared Healy, one of the privileged few tonight, along with umpire Jeff Geeshan, to be mic'd up to the umpires. And the free kick will go to Ben Kinnear. So it's 14 points. Could have only been 8.
Burns.
And Shane Wakelin pushing right into attack, dragging the King with him.
So some real fighting going on out there tonight from both sides, particularly the Kangaroos. We'll have a boundary throw-in. The margin 14 points. Steinford to do the ruck work, the ex-Cat. Dimatina in and under. Stevens was terrific towards King, who checked his own kick there and then handballed out the back towards Archer. Paddles it in front of himself. Now Harris. He's got good hands, hasn't he, this kid? We've been pretty impressed with him tonight, as you might have gathered.
Important there, Jukovic. Oh, in the back.
And in the back there to Reece Shaw, you'd think. And a free kick. As Robbo mentioned, Jukovic was terrific with the spoil and comes straight off the ground. And Didak, the number 3 pick in the national draft, comes on. Clearly in the back there to Reece Shaw, who takes the kick. A big fly at the back for the Magpies. No one can take the mark. Byron Pickett with a fit of the fumbles. Will need to get rid of it. Did so. Didn't quite come off. Tarrant trying to engineer something. Bree pushed in the back, and there's the leveller.
That's the best square I've ever seen in your life.
No doubt about that.
I'm not saying that O'Brien... He was falling, actually, when Grant got on the scene, I thought.
But it was consistent, wasn't it, at least?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt he had to play that one in the back. It was a desperate lunge, but he still went straight in the back.
Looks a lot like Brad Rowe these days, doesn't he, with the dreadlocks? Forward pocket for the Magpies. O'Brien's kicked the goal. They're still in the contest.
Yes, he looks like Brad Rowe, but more importantly, he had to look like Peter McKenna there on that occasion, and he did what the great McKenna did so many times for the Magpies and went straight through the middle, Robbo.
Yeah, it was a good kick by Shane O'Brien, but gee whiz, if they lose the game, they're going to go back to that queried decision at the other end of the ground, I'm sure.
I think they may go back anyway, irrespective.
And it's like it's been a pretty good contest, and if the result is ruined by a suspect decision by Hayden Kennedy, it's a pity. O'Brien, the goal kicker. Kangaroos coach, Dennis Pagan. Chance for the Kangaroos, but it's chopped off by Loney. His kick well smothered. Now a contest just forward of the centre circle. Petrie gets his right boot to it, kicks it high in the air. Marcus taken by McKernan. Did it go the required distance? No.
Got the free kick
now he's been held when he didn't have the ball.
That's got to be 50.
He's looking for 50.
You've got to be consistent there, Hayden Kennedy. He paid the 50 prior earlier against Anthony Rocker, and he's clearly kicked that ball away.
I think the decision earlier was for McKernan mouthing off. Now the kick went wide, and Carey is marked. Well, he's about 40 metres out. But certainly McKernan was right in front of goal. Perhaps McKernan feeling that he couldn't get that required distance. Certainly Carey within kicking range, but the angle is his area of greatest concern. Oh, it's a nice looking kick. It's a lovely kick by the captain. Looks like a goal to the Kangas.
Carey gives a salute to the Collingwood faithful. He's copped a bit over there in the last 20 minutes or so.
Good to see that, isn't it, too?
I saw one of the Magpie Army telling him he'd kicked just the one goal there. I think that's what he was saying.
Well, it was a good effort because, as I said, the angle, it wasn't absolutely impossible, but he threaded it through. Kangaroos have got their 15th and they lead again by 14 points.
So this game's still very much on a knife's edge. The Magpies will need the next one. Rocker and Petrie, who's really had some share of hit-outs. Harris good in close again. Clayton towards full forward. Carey, one hand, he's done it!
Well, importantly, Carey's done it, but it's Daniel Harris that's been the most impressive at the last two centre bounce takeaways. He's the one that's taken the ball from it. Good work from the ruckman. But it was Cat Harris that weaved his way through the tight circuit situation and still put the Sharon on one of his teammates' chests.
Wayne Carey.
Tell you what, the Magpie Army ready to respond if he misses.
4 marks in a quarter and a half of football.
Oh, look at this.
Decides to go short. That's extraordinary to Sav Rocker. Everyone presumed he was going to kick the goal. No one manned up Sav. The look from Rick Malthouse says it all in the Collingwood coach's box. And that's pretty well inexcusable. That is inexcusable, isn't it? Rocker will kick his 4th against his old side as Brent Harvey prepares to come back on for the Kangaroos. Rocker has kicked 4, and the Kangaroos creep ever so closer to a semi-final.
Would you have played some mind games there, Robbo, and put Anthony Rocker on the mark? Just worth a try?
Oh, well, I guess it would have been, but perhaps not quick enough.
Interestingly, he never once sold the farm on that kick, did he? Always kept his eyes on the goals until he kicked it.
Yes.
It was a terrific play.
It was an important kick for him.
Actually, you were actually watching his mind tick over, weren't you? You know, it was like he you know, the golfer changing his shot halfway through his backswing.
Well, let's see what Daniel Harris can do here, and who can get the ball out of the middle. This time it's the Maggies.
Well, it was a Lockyer's left foot kick that's been marked by David King. Across half back now, goes out wide. Harris at the fall of the ball. Again, very good hands to Stevens. Stevens to half forward. Ball spills to the back of the pack. Diving on it, Johnson, O'Brien. Wider still, Rintoul. He's got a player out wide. That's Steinfort, who hasn't had much ground time at all, Carl Steinfort. Short kick is all right to Shaw. Shaw goes into the pocket. Good delivery. Tarrant is marked away from Colbert. Tarrant looking to play on. Long kick to the goal square. Tarrant has kicked 3. Nearly the mark to Johnson, but it's Pickett at ground level. Just the pace and the balance. Beautiful for Pickett. Goes out wide. The skipper has got some space and he's marked on his chest. Short ball. Looked for Harvey. He'll give it back. Carey just prepared to share it now. Short kick is all right.
Pickett's
Blakey is marked. He could see Pickett, who's run all the way down the ground. He actually initiated the move from the full back line, Byron Pickett, and he's taken the mark inside his forward 50. 16-10, 106 to 13-8, 86. 20 points is the margin. Pickett's kick to the front of the goal square. Umpires found a free kick, a holding incident. In that pack of 4 players, it will go to Collingwood and Prestigiacomo.
Adam Simpson's having a rest, and he's been replaced by Brady Rawlings.
Prestigiacomo goes very, very wide. Leading out there in the race for the ball was Steinfort. Took the mark, able to run away from that half-back line.
Oh.
No one really to kick to. Fortunately, it slipped off the side of the boot, nearly to the advantage of Lockyer. Didak and Loney, 2 of the youngsters combined. Loney's kick will land the ball at half forward. Where are the... Oh, I think he's manufactured a mark, hasn't he? Jared Malloy, he played on anyway. Tyson Lane, can he get another one? No, drops short. McCartney, under pressure.
Come on through.
Very, very sound on that full back line, Jason McCartney, and gets the ball wide to King, who in turn finds Clayton.
But Tyson Lane would have been better off making the extra yard, Robbo, and taking a mark and having a set shot.
It could have been, and eventually just kicking short, which enabled McCartney to... I thought McCartney did pretty well, kept his eyes right on the footy when he looked as though he was going to be confronted with some body pressure.
Inside 5 minutes left. And Carey, some ominous signs tonight. As Robbo mentioned very early on, he's very fresh. He's taken 6 marks. Hasn't had to overexert himself. 10 kicks, 1 handball. And has led from the front since coming on at half-time. Is he going to be absolutely cherry ripe by round 1?
Don't just spot the kick it. If there's a turnover, it'll go straight into the Collingwood attack.
Well, here they go. The Kangaroos have got some numbers back, which will make them handball on the way down. And they've turned it over, so good defence off the football. Malloy, dispossessed McCartney. Archer just burrowed his way through to Pickett, who's really starting to run here. Has 3 bounces. He can kick a goal. Loads it up and kicks a beauty, I reckon. Byron Pickett. That is a magnificent effort.
Set up by Archer.
Great handball.
But he was going to get caught.
Yeah.
And just his absolute intimidation, I mean, his brute strength, barging his way through, looked a certainty to get caught here.
It's a bad turnover there for Collingwood. They had the play. They could have. They should have been attacking their own goal face. But the turnover has cost them any chance of snatching victory in this match.
And it was Harris again, in and under, who set the whole foray forward up there.
A happy little bunch, the Kangaroos. They will go forward to the semi now. 4 minutes left in the game. 17th goal on the scoreboard of the Kangaroos. Magpies must fight it right out. Rintoul goes short. Steinfort looking, delivering to half forward. Mongrel pump kick again.
Great punch.
It was a good punch.
Ooh.
Knock away there by Petrie for King. King towards half forward, and the other King overran it. Now Kinnear goes out wide. Player on his own is Steinfort. In support, O'Brien. O'Brien from 65. Not a bad kick to the advantage of Tyson Lane, who has marked on his chest about 30 metres out on a very, very slight angle.
Looks a far better player in the lead, Tyson Lane, Jared, than, as you mentioned before, just being a crumbing forward.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of experience, Tyson Lane. I think he's a player that's still got a lot of upside. Mainly, the most important thing, he can kick goals when he gets an opportunity.
Well, he can certainly do that, and he's popped through his third for the night.
I think he's only played a half a dozen or so games, Robbo. There's a lot of upside for him.
Well, of course, he had
played a few at the Western Bulldogs.
Kicked a bag of 6 one day, not disabled for the Bulldogs.
He wouldn't have played many with the Magpies, I wouldn't have thought, but he's a user of the ball, even down the ground. He played a lot of football last year for the Magpies up around the centre line. 14-8 to 17-10, margin 20 points in favour of the Kangaroos. 3 minutes left. Shannon Grant to kick it forward. Back there was McKee. Just a little knock to the advantage of Lang. The kick goes forward. Now the race is on. Who can get there first? It's hit the post. So Brady Rawlings trying the impossible there, but the ball had already hit the post. Behind for the Kangaroos. 17-11, 113, 14-8, 92. And very quickly, the kick in to Prestigiacomo. He goes out towards the centre wing, where McKee leads Lang. Well tackled. Lang got hold of his jumper, and eventually Steinford takes it over. And the boundary umpire will throw it in right on centre wing, the far side of the ground. Close to full time now, just 2 minutes left.
So the Kangaroos will hang on. Some good signs too from some youngsters, including that man Harris. Kicked off the ground to another of them. This is Petrie. Looks a real good find also. And the kick was a beauty. And speaking of finds, Sam Rocker lining up to kick 5 goals against his old side. And that'll give some Magpie supporters some headaches on the way home. Too quick on the lead there for Prestigiacomo. Looks very much a streamlined player. I think he's down to about 105 kilograms from 112.
The thing is, if you give him 8 kicks and he's within that 50-metre arc, he's always a chance to kick 4 for you, isn't he?
Spot on. So, big Severio rocker, deliberate kicking style. And the claps from behind the goals from the Magpie supporters suggested to be behind. 4 goals, 2. He returned from Sav Rocket tonight. The margin, 22 points. Lockyer brings it into Ben Johnson. Ben Good, as we've mentioned. Kick towards half-back. Again, Petrie. He's been given some opportunity tonight in the ruck in the last half. And had 7 kicks, taken 3 marks, and a number of hit-outs. Looks a good player. Kicks towards full forward. The Magpies flood back. Anthony Rocker cuts off his brother Severio and takes the mark. To Lockyer. Runner-up in the Copeland Trophy last season. After a magnificent start to the year in particular. Kick towards centre wing. It's a good kick. Precision kick to Steinford, who takes the mark. Former Geelong midfielder kicks towards half forward. McKee was there also. Archer paddles it forward. Here's the champion Buckley. Stripped of it there was Kinnear. Steinford again. All could drop on the boot that time. Lane at the back against Pickett. And the Magpies had no luck there at all as Clayton is able to work it through for the Kangaroos. Short pass was a beauty. Jess Sinclair let the baseball slide perhaps a little bit too early, but had the sense of mind to butter up. Pickett really running through the lines. Puts it in some space here for Harvey, who loves these situations, lines it up. He is a magnificent finisher. And right on the siren, the Kangaroos have extended it to 28 points as we see Wayne Carey arguing with the umpire. Not quite sure what that's about or the purpose in that. Replay here of Harvey's goal moments ago. Terrific from that spot.
It was a great finish, wasn't it? And the Kangaroos will now go on to play Port Adelaide in the semi-final next week. And whilst Mick Malthouse will be bitterly disappointed, lots of positives coming out of this match, Robbo, for the Magpies. They are a side on the move.
Oh yes, I think that certainly Anthony Rocker could contribute just a little bit more. Josh Fraser would be a bit disappointed with his performance. And there'd be 2 or 3 others. I mean, Brodie Holland was injured, and in the finish, it was a pretty good game and a just result. Kangaroos 18-12, 120. Defeated Collingwood 14-8, 92, a margin of 28 points.
This has been a C7 Sport presentation. This 2001 Ansett Cup coverage proudly brought to you by Harvey Norman.